John Weaver, and my first experiences with the old NAR Railway was when we moved to Anzac in 1960, and we came from the Peace River country, the whole family and the car and everything, and we loaded it on the NAR wave freight at Lac-La-Biche and came to Anzac. And over the course of the next few years, made many trips from Anzac to Edmonton and from Anzac to Boyle, where I was going to school. I was going to school in Athabasca, actually. And from Boyle, we'd take a vehicle or catch a ride to Athabasca, where I stayed at a hostel there while I went to school in my high school years. But many times I went from Anzac to Edmonton and from Edmonton back to Anzac. And I really enjoyed it. It was older cars than this, but and it seemed a little slower then than it is now, but it was still good. The other thing that is remarkable about the NAR or the old train is in Anzac there wasn't a lot of things to do in the evenings. There wasn't a lot of things to do anytime. So on train night, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the whole town of Anzac would show up at the train station, and we would meet the train when it came in from Anzac, from Edmonton. And you'd see who got off, and you'd see who got on, and a lot of people got ready to express train conductor that always sold comic books and chocolate bars and Coke and so on at the concession in the train, and of course we'd get on and buy the comic books for, whatever. So it was a big event meeting the train in Anzac on the train night. Nobody ever watched it going back to Edmonton the next morning, but the evenings were good. So it was very interesting. So that's why I'm taking this last ride to Edmonton. It's I've ridden on it many times, and just want to have one last ride on it.
Hello, I'm Jerry Faber. Moved to McMurray in 1946. Didn't like it. Thought I'd go to the end of the earth. My husband was conductor on the train, so I guess this is where I had to live. Traveled out on the train, but I was in here for 10 years before I went out. There was a sleeper and a diner on. They had lovely food. And of course they had berths to sleep in. Len Williams was the porter. He was really very good to everybody that rode the train. It took you 2 days to get to Edmonton.
Extra on here, make some money. I'm actually selling papers here. Okay, they're authentic. They're from 1941. Okay? And the cost is a nickel.
Well, as many of you've seen Gil Williams step on the train today. He's dressed a lot like his father used to be. And I can remember many a trip where my parents would put me on the train in Waterways, give Len the $5, which was my spending money when I got to Edmonton. And so shortly after I'd get on the train, I would look up Percy, who was looking after the dining car, and ask if I could wash the dishes or do a little bit of waiting on tables. And so I would spend many hours that way, and then evening would come along, and I would then look up Len and say, Len, is there anything I can do for you? And he would give me the pillows and the pillowcases, and I would put the pillows in the pillowcases and spend some more enjoyable times. Now, Len looked after me from, maybe the age of 6 until I was about 12 years old. Another trip that brings back great memories was in 1939. That was the year that the Queen and the King, or the King and the Queen, were to arrive in Edmonton. So there were many kids on the train. Fortunately for myself, I was one of the few that had taken the trip before, but there were many McMurrayites that had never been on the train before, never been to Edmonton, and so we left in the morning, rode all day, got to Edmonton. The following day we saw the King and the Queen go by Kingsway, and then the third day we returned to Fort McMurray. I've been looking forward to this trip for many years, and it's a great treat to be aboard today. Before the North Country opened up, I believe 5 of them young engineers were out here surveying, and that ice must have been a little on the thin side, I guess, and they went to this young engineer.
Okay, hold up, John, I want to get something.
Yeah, sure will. They went through and they found his body in the spring of the year, and they buried him right here. You'll see the site here in a couple of minutes. And it's been here ever since. About 4 or 5 years ago, his relatives came down from Denmark, and I believe a couple of his nephews. Anyways, we made a brief stop when those 2 nephews of his were on this train, and then they filmed. They had their Kodak, their 16Ms, and they took back those snaps and films of this gravesite. That's all they're really interested in, is to come up and see where their old uncle was at. There it is right there. Anyways, they named this lake on the right here after Edwards, now known as Edwards Lake. And a lot of good fishing here. Some jacks as big as cordwood here, I guess.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gil Williams. I'm a resident of Fort McMurray, where my father retired off the railroad in 1957. I'd like to welcome you to one of the final trips of the passenger rail service from Edmonton to Fort McMurray, which is being canceled. We have somewhere an amount of 75 passengers that are here to participate on this final passenger rail service. My father, Leonard Williams, retired off the railroad, as I said, in 1957. He spent 35 years with the NAR, Northern Alberta Railway. We have some passengers on this trip that recall some of Dad's experiences on the railroad here, which is all the same. That my dad seemed to spend a lot of time catering to people's needs, even not only the passengers on the train, but people that live along the railroad in different various communities, Conklin, Chard. Things that Dad would do would commute to Edmonton and take